السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, we are continuing reflecting on the Surah Al-Imran. We came to the call that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling the believers to unite. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as the Quran was revealed, it was revealed, and within it the unity started, because everybody is doing one thing, different things, and now there are some from among them will leave the way of everyone and to take the way of La ilaha illallah. And to make that change, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them time, a lot of time, with little of the Quran, to understand it, reflect on it, and to see what the change that will happen within themselves as they are taking in the understanding of La ilaha illallah. We were talking before about how it's about only 5 surahs came in the first maybe 3 years or so of the short surahs, and all in Juz Amma except Al-Fatiha came number 5. Okay? And then after Al-Fatiha came Surah Al-Masad, which is, it was said in the open, meaning we know that is after 3 years. So the point here is of unity, meaning those who were getting the Quran, now they are together and the uniting, and they understand little by little what this is about. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not take them from one step, one stage to another stage until they were ripe for the new stage. They did not move quickly. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them what is coming next, but did not tell them when yet. Wait for the command. So they were persecuted in Mecca for many years, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them not to resist at all. Okay? And when they complained to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, not complain but ask Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam to make dua so the matter will move forward now. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam will be upset. Tell them that you want it quickly. You have to wait. Okay? And when those were ready, they moved forward. Now the secret message became in the open, but they were not allowed to have it in the open until they reach a certain level of understanding and belief. Then Allah took them to the open. Now the society, the difficulties came so much on them, and they waited and waited until Allah told them now it is time to go. So they were ripe and ready to go to Medina. So this experience and so forth put so much unity in among the Muslimin. And we look at ourselves now and we say we unite. Well, okay, what are we uniting on? حبل الله واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا. have i'tisam and unite yourself and be united around the rope of Allah and do not disperse. Okay? So the understanding of what we are holding on to must be there all the time. If we are not understanding this, you cannot move forward. You cannot move forward. The movement forward could be superficial, like what happened with Musa alayhi salam and his people. That move was superficial for the people. Okay? They wanted freedom, we wanted freedom. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them, I'll give you freedom, see what you're going to do with it. Not that they are deserving now to have authority. No, they did not deserve to have the authority. And Allah gave them the authority. Okay? And we need to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give the upper hand to those who do not deserve it. Okay? And Allah gave them the freedom, and now they left. Musa alayhi salam was with them, and you cannot get better than that on earth. The one min ulil azmi min ar-rusul is upon them now. Okay, Musa alayhi salam, but nothing changed. They still give Musa alayhi salam so much hard time and so forth. Okay, so the robe of Allah. Let me give an example. Okay, an actual example that happened with me many years ago, when some Muslim organization was starting to form so they can get involved politically. Okay, so they can get involved politically. So, and that's their goal, and it's clear, and this is what they're about, and trying to form themselves and so forth. So, I suggested to them that you need someone or some organization or some entity that is religiously versed in this, meaning you have to have a reference to go back to. Okay, you have to have a reference to go back to, because you're going to walk now in a minefield. What to do, what not to do, how to do it, and if you have any questions, you have to have a reference to go back to. So you need to my suggestion was to make a clear reference. Maybe if you don't want to have somebody with you, who's, you pick and you be part of the organization who's knowledgeable and so forth in the deen, you at least you relate or you decide on an entity that you go back to, or a scholar here or somewhere to go back to. They thank you for the advice and so forth. And time and months go by, and I see, one of them who is their leader. Again, so I say, how are you doing? Is this and that? Fine. So did you pick, someone or some entity you go back to and so on? He said, we got together and we decided not to. I said, why? He said, because we have different opinion and have differences. And if we pick, it will be difficult, because among us is also Shia and this and that and so forth. So we don't want to be divided. So we decided not to have an entity to go back to. Now what is that? What is that? It is, a group of people who are professional, and all of them were professional, very well versed in the matter that they do. And we're not talking anything less about them in anything, but they do not have the knowledge. They do not have knowledge in the task they are organizing to do. Okay, so if you put them together and ask a doctor to talk to an engineer, okay, and then have the doctor give an opinion in an engineering matter, it will not dare. I say, no, brother so-and-so is knowing in this. And then the engineer cannot talk about and give an opinion and give fatwa in medicine, so long the engineer is there. But yet all of them, they agree that they do not have, they can make a decision and go into an arena that is new, okay, without any specialists who have some knowledge, or at least someone who will be designated to get the knowledge in this matter. Okay? But no, and they feel that it's okay to do that. Now, what is this uniting on? The perception that they have, which is very good and so forth, which is that they are for Islam, okay, and for La ilaha illallah. And actually they want to present the Muslim community and so forth, okay? That is very good, but they don't have the two. So how this possible? And that was the wisdom. وَقُرْآنَ فَرَقْنَاهُ لِتَقْرَأَهُ عَلَى النَّاسِ عَلَى مُكْثٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it is a Quran that we separated it. So you read it upon the people with little by little, ala mukth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us this, okay, that the Quran, we brought it down with little by little, faraqnahu, we separated it. We did not bring it all at once. Talking to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لِتَقْرَأَهُ عَلَى النَّاسِ. So we read it to the people, ala mukth, with the little by little, slow down, okay? وَنَزَّلْنَاهُ تَنزِيلًا. The tanzil here meaning we brought the Quran upon what is going on at the time. That is the tanzil. So if we go through the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then go to the surah that came stage by stage in this, so much will become clear. So much, now we will understand what is, when it is time to put the foundation, when it's time to put the foundation, and to the one that you're going to build on it, the Muslim community. What is it that you need to know? What is it that you need to talk about? What is it that has to be? Okay. So we go to the ayat and the surah that came in very early. Then this will be the subject matter that you have to pay attention to before you build anything else on it. Okay? And then the middle of the Meccan period, the middle of it, the Meccan period, which now is the open, and they're being, Muslims being, dealt with harshly and so forth. What is this? What do you need to know at this time? Okay, and then you go to the end of the period of Meccan period. What was the subject matter? What was the subject matter then? Okay, in the surah that came down. Okay. So we know, and Medina similarly. In the very early surah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ. Have you seen the one, I'm telling the companion, have you seen the one who denied this deen? Yes, who is the Allah? Yeah, we know who it is, so and so and so. No, the quality of this, the quality of the society that does this, okay? فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُ الْيَتِيمِ. That is the one that pushes the yatim away, the yatim, the orphan away. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. And does not, take care of the masakeen and the food for the masakeen. Did Allah tell Rasulullah the companion to establish some organization to do this now? No. Rasulullah did not say, when they heard that, they did not, get the direction, okay, now you look at where the masakeen are and so forth and establish this. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling Rasulullah, do you see the society? Okay, that yukadhibu bid-din, you'll find this in it. Another word, and you continue with the surah. Okay. Told him, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. Oh, now Allah talking about not yukadhibu bid-din. Allah talking about al-musallin. Okay? So it is not a society that denied the deen. No, the society that established the salah. Right? So what is the comparison? Okay? نعم فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون. Woe to those who pray or not concentrating in their prayer. They do not have that relationship with Allah. Okay? الذين هم يراءون فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون. They have the quality of the first one, of the يكذب بالدين. So Rasulullah is giving the direction, and the companions, you're going to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but as you are growing in this, you don't want to be a society that does the same thing as a society that يكذب بالدين. Okay? Do not be يراءون ويمنعون الماعون. They just show off and they do not do the help and so forth. So when the matter in Medina came and so forth, the society was like that. Now, establishing the prayer and taking care of the needy, and it was something that it has to be done in the society and so forth. And the zakah now came, the zakah system and so forth. The point in all of that is that, yes, we unite, but we have to really know what we united in, and we have to be willing to listen and willing to take advice. Okay? And you know, there are organizations now that, as we are growing in the West, like AMJA, for example. It's a very important organization, in my opinion. Okay? That every year, since 2011, since 2011, every year, they at the beginning of the year, they have a subject, okay, and they give it to the imams and those who are students of knowledge, and they send the email to all of them, say this is what subject that you want that we all need to investigate, and because there are subjects in the United States, in the West, that's new, comes up, we'll know how to deal with it, right? And then they say, okay, they choose several of school scholars and students of knowledge to make a study and present a paper in this. And then at the end of the year, take the year to do this. At the end of the year, they gather together in a long weekend and days and evenings every day, the discussions in this. And they bring now a mature answer to the problems that comes up in the West. This is it. Now we can unite now on what? On the new things that's coming. We don't know what to do with it, but there is an entity of scholars bringing the answers to this and what to do in it. Then we are united in something that is clear. So yes, that we want to unite, but we need to be very clear of what we united on. أخونا إبراهيم تفضل.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا تكونوا كالذين تفرقوا واختلفوا من بعد ما جاءهم البينات وأولئك لهم عذاب عظيم. يوم تبيض وجوه وتسود وجوه فأما الذين اسودت وجوههم أكفرتم بعد إيمانكم فذوقوا العذاب بما كنتم تكفرون. وأما الذين ابيضت وجوههم ففي رحمة الله هم فيها خالدون. تلك آيات الله نتلوها عليك بالحق وما الله يريد ظلما للعالمين. And do not like those who split into sects and differed after clear proofs had come to them. It is they who will suffer a tremendous punishment. On that day, some faces will be bright while others gloomy. To the gloomy-faced, it will be said, did you disbelieve after having believed? So taste the punishment for your disbelief. As for the bright-faced, they will be in the Allah's mercy, where they will remain forever. These are Allah's revelation. Will recite to you in truth, and Allah desires no injustice to His creation.
What translation is this? What Quran translation?
This is the clear Quran.
The clear Quran.
Which one did you say? Gloomy part?
Yes.
Or maybe, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I thought, okay.
Yeah.
But the others say black, or
white.
the others, or the white.
Black and white.
Yes.
But yeah, in Arabic, you want to translate literally,
Yes.
black and
It
white.
is black, yeah.
But it's not that's what it meant. Because the Arabs would use the word black, and they do not mean the color black.
Right.
And they use the word white, and they don't mean the color white.
Correct.
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
Let me see, inshallah. The noble Quran has it as not be as those who divided on the deferred among themselves after the clear proof came to them. It is they whom there is an awful torment on the day when some faces will become white and some will become black.
Yeah.
As for those whose faces will become black, did you reject faith after accepting it? Then taste the torment for rejecting faith.
Yeah, that's not, yeah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the advice and says, do not do such and do not do such. Do not be divided like those who came that were there before you, and they divided after al-bayinat came to them. Okay? After al-bayinat came to them. So the steps of division, it is steps, okay? Little by little, and then at the end, they change it, the rope of Allah itself, they changed it. Okay? It became something completely different. Okay? The dispute among them was so much, okay, that they did not care about the message itself. Okay, they care about what they are looking forward to, which is this dunya. Okay, so those who are changed the book by their own hand, and those who are took away things that was in their book. Okay, so those who went and changed the book by putting more things in it, and those who took away things from it, okay, to make it this is going to one extreme and this is going to another extreme. And just to go back to what we said earlier, the same people I was talking to, brothers who started, the organization, political and so forth, actually the one who's running things with them told me something. He said, we need to learn from, I don't want to say the people of the book here, and how they have the authority now and be able to control this and that. We need to find what they did and take the footsteps to do the same.
Well, that's the advice that you gave them earlier. Is that correct?
But he wants to follow the people of the book, not the Jews, he said here.
Oh.
The Jewish people in the United States, they have authority here and so forth, organization doing this and that. And he said, we want to take their footsteps to do what they did so we can have the same result. And he means well, but the knowledge is not there, right? So what is the answer to that? Okay, so look at the result. The result is they let go with many things in order to have control on something, right? So the religion, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us here. After al-bayinat came to them, they let go of it because they're looking for something else, okay? So the role modeling here, it has to be clear. Al-ittiba' is part of who we are. It's part of the religion. Al-ittiba', to follow. Okay, to follow. It is not the intention. The intention is not good enough. Many people will be in hellfire with good intentions. Okay, the people who are worshiping idols, they had good intentions. They were saying to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Ma na'buduhum illa liyuqarribuna ila Allah zulfa." We do not worship them except to get us close to Allah. Like, what's wrong with that? Okay, so وَلَا تَكُونُوا, do not be like those that came before you. اختلفوا وتفرقوا, that is, they dispersed and fought with one another. من بعد ما جاءتهم البينات وأولئك لهم عذاب عظيم. They have, and those who have a huge punishment. Okay. Again, يوم, now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring us to the hereafter. يوم تبيض وجوه, the day that faces will become bright. وتسود وجوه, and the faces will become gloomy. Okay. فأما الذين سودت وجوههم أكفرتم بعد إيمانكم. As for the one that their faces becomes gloomy, they will be told, oh, did you become a kafir after you became a believer? Another word, it will be a mark on them. So in the day of judgment, people look at each other, and then those who are left Islam and left the way of Allah and had differences among them and became something else, the mark will be on their face. Say, are you the one who the gloomy face there, are you the one who disbelieve after they believe? And as for the one that biyaddat wujuhum, their face became bright. أما الذين ابيضت وجوههم ففي رحمة الله, they are in the mercy of Allah. هم فيها خالدون, they are in it. They are in the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forever. Okay? Again, it is what this is the thread that Allah is bringing on us from having ikhtilaf. Okay, because you can have ikhtilaf in the matter of, we talked about it last week, that the companions would have ikhtilaf with one another. Okay, but in the matter of what? Of how to do things. Okay? Because someone saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam doing something like this and saying this, and then he brings it, and someone who saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam earlier doing something different. Okay? And he says, no, I see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is doing this. So there are two sources with the same issue with differences. Okay? But then you'll find an answer to that. When that happened with the companions, they find an answer. Okay? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam at that time, he was young. Okay? As he was doing this and that, so he did it in an energetic way. But now, the one who mentioned Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did it differently. He came late in Islam. So he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam later on in Islam. So what he reported is something different. It's because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was older. Is in how to do things, how to come up from the sujood to stand. Okay, just an example. There some will come directly up, and some would sit and then go up. One scholar, Sheikh Ibn al-Uthaymin rahimahullah, he said, my opinion used to be this, and then now my opinion became this. Because he said, when I found out that one who brought this narration, he was late coming to Islam. And the one who brought this narration, he was one of the first who came to Islam. So now I understand this. Okay? I was relating the difference into something else, but now I know this. So that's fine. But the core of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, the aqidah itself, there is no differences in it. Okay? The difference is in it when someone, put some kind of doubts in this, that means they're taking themselves out of Islam. Okay? That's when we go into shirk and so forth. Wallahu a'lam. There of course, there is deeper studies in this and so forth. But that generally is this. تلك آيات الله نتلوها عليك بالحق وما الله يريد ظلما للعالمين. This is ayat that we are reciting upon you بالحق, with the absolute truth. Okay? Talking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, talking to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not wish injustice for the world, for the people. In other words, what Allah has given us, this is justice. Okay? And justice is, you can look at it two ways. Okay? Justice that you give each one a portion. Okay? For example, we have food to eat and we are 5 people, get the dish and divide it 5 pieces. So 5 portions. That is qist. That's qist. Okay? But there is another justice that's called adl. Okay? And adl is to do what is proper, not necessarily equality. Not necessarily equality. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala divide inheritance, you get the case. Someone who has a daughter who passed away, has a daughter and 2 boys, and he has a wife, and his wife is the second wife, is not the mother of the, right? And you find that the division is not by cutting. If there are 5 people, get the inheritance and cut it 5 pieces and give each one. No, it is not that way. That's not justice now. Okay, the justice is to give them the portion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. And some will take more than the other. That is justice. Because the sister or the daughter, okay, she will get her share and she's not obligated to spend on anybody. And the wife will get the share and she's not obligated to spend on anybody. But the brothers will have their share and they're obligated to spend on their sister and their mother. Okay? So they'll get more. Right? So that would be the justice. Okay? You know, and when you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us as a physical body. Okay? There is justice in this. Okay, adl in this. Okay, what is adl? Adl is to the parts that Allah created us with functioning exactly right. So the thumb has a shape and a length that is suitable, and a muscle that is thick than all the other fingers. Because its job needs this. So it does not look like the other fingers. Okay? And the others do not look like each other. Because each one has its job and it is working for a specific reason, to function the best way it can. So that is justice. Okay? You cannot look at your finger and say that is not just. They are not all equal. That will be injustice. To become all equal in size and all of this, that will be injustice. Okay? وَمَا اللَّهُ يُرِيدُ ظُلْمًا لِلْعَالَمِينَ. And Allah does not need dhulm for al-alameen, injustice for the world. So what Allah is giving you, do not look at it with your own intellect and say this is not just. But some would look at the inheritance and say this is not justice. Okay? And some actually, Muslim countries came to that point, they change the inheritance because they want justice. You know, you get in your own intellect over the text, and we're not saying that everything will become clear. No, but what the clarity is in that this word is the word from Allah. So what comes from it is justice. Okay. If you do not look at it that way, it does not translate like this to you, That's the problem is you. Problem is us that thinking about it, not looking at it this way. Okay? And maybe we'll find out. Maybe we'll know what the justice is. Okay? And so forth. And that was the difficulty between Musa alayhi salam and Al-Khidr. Musa alayhi salam is looking at justice clearly in if this happened, this happened. If this happened, this happened. The law, like that. And Al-Khidr look at it with different eyes, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the knowledge of what al-ma'al, what this is going to go to in the future. Right? So what Musa alayhi salam looked at, he could not be patient with. Okay? And then when Al-Khidr told him what was the issue, it made sense now. Okay? So we can look at things in the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us, and we might look at it like Musa alayhi salam. Okay? So to speak, you know what I mean. Meaning, it does not quite fit the logic that we have. Okay? So now, are you going to submit to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us? Or are you going to take the intellect over this? Okay? And after all, if you take our intellect over this, somebody else who have a better intellect or different intellect will take it in a different way. So now this deen is going to be something else. Then the ikhtilaf will be there. Then the ikhtilaf will be there. Then the different opinions will be there. Okay? Why? Because everyone has a different capacity than other. Because what we have to think about it, to make decision with, changes according to how old you are, or how did you reach old age, do not think straight now, or are you in young age, you can see things clearly, or the knowledge that you have, the information that you have made you very knowledgeable in this matter, and somebody else has less knowledge. No, you cannot use this now that has differences to make a decision different than what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us, right? That's why we go back to what we said earlier. The professionals that can come in, but they do not dare to talk about, make a fatwa in each other's discipline. Rather, they ask each other about the disciplines, okay? That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us that the one who research, okay, to make a decision, okay? So it's okay not to have the knowledge, but it's not okay not to seek the knowledge, okay? So the one who's seeking the answer and find it and go by what he found. If he found the correct answer, he gets two rewards. The reward for exerting an effort to go, the reward of saying, I don't know and I gotta find out, and the reward for finding the right answer. And the one who does that but does not find the right answer, find the wrong answer actually, gets one reward. Why? Because he tried his best to find the answer. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give him tawfiq to find it, for some reason or another, from the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't want this one to find it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us this about two prophets of Allah. Okay? Dawood wa Sulaiman. فَفَهَّمْنَاهَا Sulaiman. We made Sulaiman understand it. After Dawood alayhi salam made a decision, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَفَهَّمْنَاهَا Sulaiman. So Sulaiman alayhi salam, Allah gave him the ability to understand the case better than Dawood alayhi salam. So he made a decision that was more mature. And both of them were prophets of Allah. Okay? فَفَهَّمْنَاهَا Sulaiman. So that becomes very clear, very clear. There's exerting an effort, that's what we need to do. And not exerting an effort in a matter. And we put ourselves in a post to be charged of this matter, that is so dangerous for oneself Okay? That this is a sign of Qiyamah. This is a sign of Qiyamah. When Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِذَا ضُيِّعَتِ الْأَمَانَةِ فَانْتَظِرِ السَّاعَةِ فَانْتَظِرِ السَّاعَةِ. When the amana is forsaken and lost, then wait for the hour. The companions asked, Ya Rasulullah, how is the amana, what is the sign of the amana is lost? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِذَا وُسِّدَ الْأَمْرِ لِغَيْرِ أَهْلِهِ فَانْتَظِرِ السَّاعَةِ. When a matter is given, a responsibility is given to the one who cannot carry it, okay, he's not qualified to carry it, then wait for the hour. Okay? Imagine a person puts himself, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a companion, and somebody came and said, Ya Rasulullah, I want you to appoint me on this. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, what is the matter with him? What's the matter with him? Does he know that we do not give it to the one who asks for it? Does he know that we do not give it to the one who asks for it? Who is Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu? Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu. Who is he? We know who is Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu. Did he have courage? So much courage. When he knew about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he came to Mecca, wanted to find. When his brother came, he said, there is a prophet such and such and such. He said, I'm going to go and find out. So he goes and come to Mecca. Now he accepted Islam and so forth, and now he said that he's a Muslim, right in the open like this, when it was secret, right? They came on and beat him up, and he fought with them, right? And finally, Abu Sufyan radiallahu anhu, he was not a Muslim. Then he said, "Stop! Do you know who he is? Where is he from? He's from Qabila, from the Qabila, okay, Ghifar, Qabila Ghifar, that your qawafil, your caravan goes through, and you know Ghifar. They can tear you apart. They can steal everything that you have. Let him go." That's how he was saved, right? So did they have courage? Yes. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after Abu Dharr became Abu Dharr, the companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and so forth, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if there are three people, Abu Dharr among them, do not appoint Abu Dharr as I will not appoint you as an Amir upon them, because you are weak. Weak? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells Abu Dharr weak. But what does weak mean here? Weak meaning he goes forward quickly without stopping, thinking, and being, trying to make a decision after he studied the matter. No, he comes quickly and jump into matters. Okay, so he have a lot of courage, but in this matter it is weakness. Okay, so Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you find the seerah of Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu, he will go after the companions. Okay. Because it's something here and there, and he wants it perfect immediately, right now. Okay? So know that there is a balance in all of this. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Please, if you'd like to make decisions, make decisions. They make comments, inshallah.
What you talked about is so important. That, to my thinking, that we need to have, the qualities of leadership.
Yes.
That's what you were talking about, as far as I'm concerned. Not everybody who is a scholar can become a leader.
Yes.
And Allah, for some people, Allah will give so much, qualities, so much skills, so that they can be able to lead the community. I remember when the Prophet Muhammad being assigned as a leader, the young Sahabi.
Yes.
While the senior Sahabis are there, and there is a reason for that.
Yes.
So the question of leadership is very, very important in Islam.
Anyone else? Tfaddal.
About the faces that will turn on the day of the judgment, bright and dark, however you can explain this one. It is mentioned that the people They will be the kafirun mainly. But when it says that akafartum ba'da imanikum,
Mhm.
so that could include the people of the book because they believed and then they fell.
It-
As
it-
well as the munafiqun.
Yes.
So it will have a large category of.
But you see what you did now, you said that the people of the book are not kafirun.
No. It is separated, the kafirun are separated on the day of judgment. It is like specified who is included.
Mhm.
There is general category of kafirun who are mukazzibun.
Yeah, at the end of the day of judgment, either a
They are
Muslim,
all kafirun.
you are a Muslim or not a Muslim.
Yeah.
Okay? And that a Muslim could be a Muslim, a mu'min, a muhsin, and not a Muslim could be many categories as well. And among them, the people of the book, and the munafiqun, and the, kafirun.
And people who are murtaddin and all.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
because it is said to them tawbiha,
yes, Mm.
when kafartum ba'da imanikum.
yes,
After they believe,
yes,
imanikum means belief.
yes.
Now here some other tafsir says that belief is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took the, most, on the day of, before he created. So he told all the people, am I not your Rabb and all that. Allah
Yeah.
to be Rabbikum. So some of the Mufassir say that it refers to Iman to that one,
Mhm.
that they had believed. They said that we believe in Allah. Like that. He was a Rabb. And then so how do you generalize that one too? They generalize it like that.
Mhm. جزاكم الله خير جزاكم الله خير
The Shia, the group,
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
at time of Prophet ﷺ, there are Sahaba and Quran and Sunnah,
Mhm.
only one group.
Right.
Later on when Islam spread,
Mhm.
and they went to this Christian area, like their theology,
Mhm.
and then the different scholars came up, like Ashari and other Ashari came apart, and they were about different, like Qadr of Allah Ta'ala and what is different. Those are like within the whole of Islam, like they have different opinions of what you won't categorize them as, like Shia and different groups. What do you say about that?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You want to turn this off, inshallah? Yes. Because I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I'm saying and cut and paste. You can turn it off, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب